Good day, family. God bless you. It's the time you've been waiting for. Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard, your resource and information show for people getting better with age. Well, I am so excited to welcome back one of our community partners and friends. Everyone, you know them as AARP, our friends from Chicago. But let me tell you, we have a special guest joining us today because they have a huge outreach on Social Security that is coming to your community. Everyone stay tuned. Tell them Senior Talk is live. We'll be right back after our commercial opening. Thank you for your time and thank you for joining us today. We'll be right back. All right, family. God bless you. As mentioned, we are here live, Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard. Woo, let me tell you, this is the perfect time, too. This is April, and also, this may fall into what our experts are going to talk about a little bit more. It's also Money Smart Week, or the month for Money Smart Week. So we got a lot of things that we're going to dive into today. Well, we're not going to take up any more time, but we're going to make it impactful for you. So today joining us is a special woman who is I read her bio and just said, I'm going to let her talk about and introduce herself to our listening and viewing audience. She is an expert wealth accumulation and conservation specialist with Kimco International. Welcome, Kimberly Thomas, to Senior Talk. Woo! How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing fantastic on this beautiful day that God has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. So
Amen.
I am Kimberly Thomas, and I am a wealth accumulation and conservation specialist with Kimco International, also known as a financial planner. And so what I do is have a lot of fun helping people make smart choices with their very hard-earned dollars, and have been doing so since 1998. My mom tricked me into this business, but it was the best trick ever. And so I am a second generational financial planner, and soon working on our third generation so we can help all people make smart choices with their money.
I love it. I love it. So we had a chance to talk in our virtual green room, and I am just overwhelmed because your expertise is going to be a true benefit to so many who are listening and viewing. And so that's why you now are in partnership with AARP. So tell us your role with AARP, if you would.
For the past 2 years, I've been working with AARP on a couple of different levels. Enjoying my time coming on shows such as yours to help the community get educated on Social Security, as well as I go to various meetings with them. And then we just recently had, back in October 2023, we had the Building Wealth for Tomorrow event with the city of Chicago that Melissa Conyers Irvin, she put on, and AARP had me present to that audience. So I do a lot for AARP. It could be either doing some footwork, such as going to any event, or either doing things such as this, having fun with folks like you.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I want to tackle before we get to our questions, and you could, it's not on here, but let me just say you can answer the question per your expertise. What are people? Is there a reason that people decide to or not to in an earlier age or later age to get on Social Security per your expertise, especially if we could say in our community? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, in our community, most people haven't necessarily planned, financially speaking, for their retirement years as much as in other communities. Mm-hmm. So we do opt to take Social Security a little earlier. On average, we take Social Security about at age 62. That's pretty common. You'll hear someone say, oh, I've turned 62. I'm going to go ahead and go down to the Social Security office and get what's coming to me. But that isn't necessarily the best route to take. because if you do take your benefits early, and that's considered early, taking your benefits at age 62, you cut your benefits by 25%, because
Wow.
mostly full retirement benefits are given between age 66 and age 67. And then if you can wait until age 70, that would be best, because that's the max that all Americans will get. But in our community, we usually don't wait. We usually need the money. And it's basically because of different uh, factors that have taken place. Let it be, most of us are single moms, so we need our money. It could be we don't get assistance from their dads with child support, so we need the money, and we're trying to make up all the payments on the debt that we have incurred, because we're making sure that our children are cared for. Or either it could be a dad that really got laid off and he's trying to fill the void in his financial security. So Social Security is really important. And so in our community, you see a lot of us taking it at 62.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and this is an excerpt from AARP saying collecting Social Security at age 62. And then we're going to dive into more questions. But we want to also just tell everyone early, May 9th, WVON, AARP, they're doing a special segment on this. We're going to share this through our broadcast. It's going to be at 2 p.m. on AM 1690. WVON, you do not want to miss it. We're going to tell you how to register, to make sure you're involved, and how you can help support the efforts of AARP. So everyone stay tuned for this quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with our special guest, Kimberly Thompson of Kimco International.
I was approaching 62 and I was running out of savings. So I said, I'm going to apply for my Social Security.
I decided to apply for Social Security because of my living situation, since I was already in my 60s and we were moving to a somewhat rural area. There would not be a possibility for me to earn the same kind of income that I was living in a city.
I worked in the bar business. I wanted to be able to last, like, to my age now, certainly mid to late 60s before I had to start collecting to max out what I could collect. But, didn't work that way for a couple different reasons.
Longevity is not in my DNA. My parents both died young, and my grandparents both died young. So I decided that I would start collecting at 62.
Well, I had a financial advisor when I left the company, and they kind of gave me some numbers that would not be worth staying around another 3 or 4 years. So I decided to pull then, and I haven't regretted that yet.
If I had it to do over again, and I had done more thoughtful research, I definitely would have waited to collect. I feel like I threw away a certain amount of money that I could have had counted on every month.
I'm a bit concerned right now about the future because I'm not sure if Social Security is going to be sufficient for me to live on.
There's a lot of different factors that go into it. It's not something that you should just sort of blindly say, I'm 62 or I'm 65 and boom, time to give them a call and let's start getting the check rolling in. In a perfect world, I would have waited to collect Social Security as long as possible.
Some people need the money right away, some people don't. So I guess it's, an individual decision based on individual needs.
Wow. What a statement in itself, let me tell you. Whew. The statement that got me is longevity is not in my DNA.
And we hear that a lot. That is really something that is stated quite a bit when it comes to taking that Social Security early. And I can identify that on a couple different levels because in our DNAs, we don't necessarily exercise and eat right is all the time. So, that's a factor. But then also sometimes it costs a lot of money to make sure that you're always exercising and eating. And maybe we weren't able to allocate those dollars to those things during the time when we were working. So it's just different reasons. And so everybody has a story, but it's not mortality is definitely something to think about. And I hear that quite a bit when it comes to saying I decided to take my Social Security at 62 versus waiting.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and I understand clearly. I'm just in a position on this side where I serve seniors who are people getting better with age who are in their 80s and 90s. So there is longevity. And so I don't like people to say life is short. Life is, you don't manage your days, you manage what you do in production and in power. So that's where we're going to go. All right. Take it back to the commercial. All right. So tell me, what is AARP's core message on Social Security?
AARP knows that you worked hard to pay into Social Security for the many years that everyone worked. So it's only fair that you get the money that you have earned while you were working in your time of need. Social Security, for the most part, is in good shape overall, but it needs some TLC. In 2023, there was an 8.7% cost of living increase. The Congress does need to take some action, and AARP definitely knows that, and that's why we're pushing for action to be taken on Social Security. And AARP will continue to fight and fight hard for all the benefits for all Americans that are currently on Social Security, as well as our future generations.
So how can we protect Social Security? What can we do as a community at large? Because you hear a lot of people talking about it, but do they really know what the benefits are of Social Security? So how can we protect it? And what is AARP doing right now?
Well, first, I would encourage everyone to go to ssa.gov and create your profile. And it doesn't matter what age you are. If you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and you're not even close to your 60s, go ahead and create a profile on ssa.gov so you can get very clear on what your personal record is saying for you. Now, if you don't know how to do that, then you can call the 800 number and they can walk you through it, or either you can go to the local office. If you don't know where your local office is, then you can go to ssa.gov. The locator will tell you where your local office is. So first, start with getting all the information on your personal record. Then AARP is urging Congress to reach a bipartisan solution to protect Social Security for everyone. Because if we can do that, then that will make us even much stronger, and we will be able to do all that's needed to be done to make sure that Social Security is intact and is solvent. Now, if Washington doesn't take any action in the next 10 years to protect Social Security, well, it could be cut on average, maybe 20 to 22%. And what that would do is it equate to maybe about $4,000 per year per covered person. So it is important, the work that AARP is doing, the letters that we're writing, going to Washington, going to Congress, talking to our local and national political parties. So it's very important. And just don't lean on AARP doing it. Everyone needs to take action on this.
Absolutely. And what we saw in the video is that it is for everyone. It's not just one race. It's a benefit to all. And so we want to be very clear, but to have the knowledge. So that's why I'm so excited this show is happening, because we want to be educated on what we're entitled to. And quite often we don't even take advantage of the things that we've already earned. As you said, Ms. Thomas, hey, it belonged to you already. So why not take advantage of it? And there's no fear. There's no way to, I mean, we have the experts here at AARP and Ms. Thomas and her organization. We're going to be the resource nub. We're the hub for you. We don't want you to feel intimidated by asking the proper questions for something that belongs to you. So, is this a personal issue for Americans?
Very personal.
Oh, part of the commercial, yeah. It's a personal issue.
It's a very personal issue. It affects everyone because you are correct. Social Security is your money and you worked an entire lifetime to get it. On those days you didn't even want to go to work, you went because you had to create the energy to go ahead and make it happen. And so we have about 50 million Americans that collect nearly $614 billion in Social Security benefits yearly. Out of that, 9 out of 10 people age 65 or older receive Social Security benefits. And then Social Security represents at least half of most Americans' income. So Social Security is very, very, very personal and very, very, very important for everyone, all creeds, all colors, everyone.
Yes.
Now, if there's no modifications to Social Security, now just looking down the pipeline in 2041, right now, the taxes that are being paid into Social Security for workers, for people who are going to get Social Security benefits in 2041 is going to be cut by that 20 to 22%. So that's like a person, if they were getting $1,000, it'd be cut maybe to about $780. Now we're already in a situation where cost of living and inflation is high. And people don't really need for their benefits to be cut. So if I understand a lot of people don't necessarily want to get involved, but it's a necessity to get involved because that cut can kind of make or break some families. It may not make or break every family, but some families will be detrimentally impacted by that 20 to 22% difference in paycheck. So like, if a person was already planning for their retirement and they already knew that Social Security would be one stream of income for them, they knew that they needed that 401k, they knew they needed the pension, a proper savings, they may have a small business, they may be using their home as a stream of income through a reverse mortgage. So some people have all those things, some people don't. But just think about it. If you have those things, and then now we have to take into consideration one of your streams of income being cut by almost a quarter.
Yes.
That's huge. That's huge. So it's very personal.
Absolutely. And I see it now, if you walk into your groceries, there are so many people who are working beyond retirement. I mean, your Walmart greeters and so forth, and businesses and cashiers, even restaurants and bars. I say, whoa. So, I mean, but that is a reason, because I would want our listening and viewing audience to work with us because our desire, let me just speak on behalf of Claire Hubbard Senior Talk, and of course, my new sister, Kim Co International. We would hope that you would have other streams of income and that you would not have Social Security be your only source. Because some of us like to travel ongoing. We like to have experiences with holiday travel and social groups and so forth. And, if you just got to manage your well-being daily, that one source may not get you there. So that's why we are seeking, and we're going to be doing something later on with my program. But we want people to just have options, but know that this is a trusted source to get what you need, and we want to be that umbrella for you. So, if you would, what are some of the benefits of Social Security?
Oh, wow. There's plenty of benefits. Social Security is essential for helping cover your personal living expenses when you retire, but then also, God forbid, if you pass away. then Social Security steps in to make sure benefits are paid out to your children, to your spouse, to your widows, or either if you have dependent parents, and then even your ex-spouse can collect on your individual record if you were married 10 years or longer. So
Ooh, some
there's
people
a
don't know
lot.
that.
Yeah, and then there's some things that need to be paid attention to with that, because the ex-spouse needs to have been married 10 years or longer, as well as they can't be remarried in order to collect on your record. So you can't be
Wow.
remarried collecting on your ex's record too. But when you do go to the Social Security website or to talk to a Social Security office, then you'll see where you could possibly utilize your benefits in the best capabilities that works best for you.
There we
So,
go.
information is power, and applied information is powerful. So, definitely, if you're not working with a financial planner, then when you're trying to think all these things through, it would be best to have a financial planner on your team if you don't already have one, because these are things that can be researched. Because on the video, you saw that the woman said she wished that she had did a little bit more thoughtful research. This is part of that thoughtful research.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're coming up on a very exciting time. On May 9th, AARP is hosting a Social Security forum. It's going to be a conversation with Chicago leaders, and it's a panel discussion about the future of Social Security. I'm telling you, it is going to be serious business. So what we're asking everyone to do is, first of all, you're going to go to aarp.org/protect Social Security, because you need to go ahead and be a part of the mission of how AARP is looking to help you protect Social Security. Then you're going to also tune in on May 9th to WVON 1690 at 2 p.m. to join the discussion. So, Ms. Thomas, let me say, you are a wealth of information. And I really appreciate your advocacy just for our community at large to understand that we do have a need for financial planners. As I tell people, you have to decide on what's important to you. There is a cost for financial planners, but we do have experts. And I'm just excited about Kimco International and how you're working to be a liaison for ARP in this conversation. So, having been at the forum, I remember that one that took place with the city treasurer. What were some of the questions that people had? Because, some of us, as I said, I desire for people not to be intimidated about information that is going to help them long term. So what would you say? What was that forum like, in some of the questions that came across that said, let's talk about that a lot more.
Well, some of the questions were geared, leaning towards benefits on Social Security. If, God forbid, if you were to pass away, then how would your children be taken care of? Because I'm a single mom. I have 3 sons. My oldest is 25. Then I have a middle son that's 23. And then my youngest, he's 19 now, but he'll be 20 on May 18th. So I'm kind of excited about that. But if something were to happen to me, then I definitely want to make sure that my legacy with my 3 sons is a good one. And I'm not unique. There's a lot of single moms. There's a lot of moms, period, that want to make sure that their children are cared for. But the interesting thing is that Social Security steps in if you pass away and gives your child up to 1/2 of your full retirement benefit if you're not here anymore. And that's a major thing, because 43% of Americans are underinsured or either not insured at all. And that's a study that was done in 2022. So that's not back in the day when people just didn't have life insurance. Oh, that's a reality now. You see all the GoFundMe's and you see all the other things that are taking place. So Social Security is kind of a real big deal, especially if you're a person that doesn't have enough insurance or doesn't have insurance at all, or either has some type of physical situation health-wise where you're not able to get any insurance or any more insurance. So
Yes.
you need Social Security. You need it. We need to advocate for Social Security because GoFundMe is not going to do it.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
those are the things that we kind of talked about at the summit. And I'm looking forward to the summit coming in 2024 because we had such a powerful group that was sharing such great information, and the entire summit was free.
Yes.
Was free.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Everybody in the city of Chicago needs to be at the summit, and everybody in the city needs to listen to your program and others that are getting this information, especially since AARP is your partner. And
Yes.
we are committed to making sure that everyone is educated because you need to make smart choices with your very hard-earned dollars.
Is that a t-shirt? It needs to be a t-shirt because it's amazing. And I thank you. And we're going to be closing up this segment, but it's just important that we also work to have a family collaborative on these conversations. And that's another topic. We're going to come back for that one because it's good to know about the well-being of your loved ones and be educated on the process, and we go through it together. Our families are enriched when we all understand and when we are all clear and on the same accord. As my auntie would say, no documentation, no need to speak. But that's another story. So if you would, I am so excited. My new friend is Kimberly Thomas. She's a wealth accumulation specialist. That's gonna be my title for you. But if you would give us your closing statement for our listening and viewing audience, and we have to remind everyone, May 9th, 2 p.m., you're going to be tuning in to 1690 a.m., the Talk of Chicago, for conversations with Chicago leaders. The future of Social Security. You don't want to miss it, 2 p.m. on May the 9th on 1690 a.m. Thank you. And what is your closing remark for us today to my new
For
sister?
everyone, yes. We cousins now. We together now.
That's right.
Yes, we are. So I would definitely invite everyone to take the pledge. Go to aarp.org/protect Social Security, or either just go to the website, AARP's website. And then also, if you definitely want to get a little bit more information with financial planning and taking into all the streams of income into consideration, then just contact me at kimcointernational.com, and then I can make sure that your questions get answered some more.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. So again, we want to thank our friends from AARP Chicago, Illinois, and to all of those who made this podcast possible today. It is critical that we be respectful of the time that we've been given, but also be knowledgeable and execute the things that you are acquired. They belong to you. So go ahead and get it. So in closing, as we say here on Senior Talk, in complete darkness, we are all the same. It is only our knowledge and wisdom that separate us. Don't let your eyes deceive you. I've been your granddaughter in the community with our special guest, Kim Thomas of Kimco International, Inc. And we will see you next time for Senior Talk with Claire Hubbard. Everyone, take care.